For the first problem statement, effective and robust means to issue, distribute, and transfer CBDC. The winner is Dragonfly Fintech team.
For this grand overview of how a CBDC should be designed from basic principles, as you said, the overarching goal is to instill trust into the payment system. And as you also said, in doing this, there are many practical issues that need to be overcome. And we need an agile design approach that allows to flexibly accommodate practical issues as they emerge. So it's now time actually to turn to this practical perspective. And with this, to our winners of the G20 Tech Sprint, again, congratulations. I'm just gonna, introduce each of you very briefly, and maybe then you could spend, really 5 minutes maximum talking about your solution and how you tackle the problem. Let me start with Team Dragonfly from Singapore, who won the category Effective and Robust Means to Issue, Distribute, and Transfer CBDCs, and with their end-to-end CBDC solution. Dragonfly is represented by Lon Wang, the FinTech CEO. Please, Lon, take it away. Maybe
you're on mute. Yeah, he's on mute.
We still cannot hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah, now it works.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Sorry. I got it on mute. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. The topic I'm going to address is on how we might implement an optimal CBDC solution. And I will address this in pertinent to Indonesia. Some of these points have already been covered by Iota and Sonia, but I will nevertheless emphasize how they are also important for good implementation. Indonesia has been accelerating at a very fast pace in the last 8 years with the declaration of the national cashless movement. To that end, Indonesia is well positioned for the next stage of its digitalization program. For any country to embark on CBDC, it is my opinion that the implementation be a self-contained initiative. Additionally, the solution must be able to connect to the web of legacy financial systems that are already put in place. So it is therefore quite mandatory that a highly flexible, scalable, and compatible bridge be built between legacy systems and the CBDC systems for interoperability. So accordingly, the rollout should be one that is convergent between legacy systems and the CBDC system. So apart from putting the law and regulatory requirements in order, there are three considerations that we should take cognizance of when it comes to deployment of a CBDC system. And these are, one, the cost associated with the rollout, the technology used, and the deployment itself. So the cost, now the financial burden of a major CBDC rollout, especially for huge and spaced out archipelago like Indonesia, can very quickly add up and can cost the country hundreds of millions of dollars to deploy. So consequently, it is important that the design should not only be efficient, but the cost of implementation, maintenance, and operation of the solution should also be taken into account. So in other words, this is basically a lowest attainable total cost of ownership. When it comes to the technology consideration, a CBDC solution should be a disruptor. could be a disruptor, and it may cannibalize the billions of dollars poured into existing systems. It is therefore very important that the technology used should be interoperable with at least some of the existing financial systems. The technology should be distributed and decentralized so that there is no single point of failure. An example would be that no CBDC edge servers should sit in the premises of the service providers, where a failure will result in the inability to carry out any transaction. Even if the system is offline, there should be a means to carry out a transaction in a dual offline transaction mode. And the system should also include the use of other devices such as NFC cards to transact, instead of just using smart devices like the mobile phones. The system components should be kept to minimum, simple, and inexpensive, preferably in a cloud environment within the country. And payment service providers as well as financial institutions should be given some flexibility in the technology used for the CBDC without requiring implementation of expensive CBDC edge servers in their premises. In a geographically expansive country like Indonesia, the design should be a cluster of network clusters. In other words, multiple islands of network clusters of servers for high throughputs and reliability. This is similar to how internet is being designed. So the entire solution should be designed like how the internet is designed, as in the case of routers being put everywhere within the system. So the user experience should be seamless and therefore easily transacted across the nation. So a payment settlement rail should also be put in.
Delon, thank you very much. We need to cut it a bit short because we also want to have a bit of discussion. Thanks very much. It's certainly fitting that the solution you lay out has an island, sort of is shaped like many islands in a G20 tech sprint hosted by Indonesia, the Archipelago. I think it's also important in a sense that when we think about these designs, there are many aspects, right? We need to sort of think about the basic architecture of a CBDC. What is sort of the baseline case? What is the overall end-to-end solution that we perceive to be the standard way in which payments occur? But there are also financial inclusion aspects, resilience aspects that come to special cases such as offline payments. And